This is Kathy Biehl of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of March 10th, 2025. Strap in, folks. The water gets really choppy this week. So much going on. It's extraordinarily important that you periodically step away from the noise and the confusion. Get quiet, get centered, empty your own energy, and find something that makes you feel sane, brings you joy. And the biggest event of the week will ultimately help with that. It's going to knock a ton of the confusion out. We're heading into eclipse time. The first eclipse of the year happens at the end of the week, but before we get there, there's much to talk about. Venus is retrograde in the sign of Aries, stirring a lot of energy, emotion, anger, things that have been festering for a while, inspiring people to stand up for themselves, to speak out, to go after something they really want. I've had an extraordinary number of people come to me with marital issues, most of which have been hanging around for a while and with completely different decisions on how they're going to play out. I bring this up to point out that relationship satisfaction is a topic in the air now. People are hair trigger, they're angry, they're saying things without a whole lot of forethought, but saying things that have been boiling away within them for a while. And the first aspect of the week gives us some clarity about that. Mercury, the planet of communication, meets with retrograde Venus on the 11th, and just a few days before Mercury also goes retrograde. The second half of the month, we are going to have a Mercury retrograde completely nested within the Venus retrograde, going over the same territory, starting out in Aries, unpremeditated, hair trigger, aggressive, bold, and possibly fearless. The benefit of this is you'll have the wherewithal to really tackle stuff that's been bugging you for a while. You'll also have opportunities to tackle misunderstandings or situations that need to be cleared up, like we're all downing energy drinks or Popeye spinach or something that just gives us the courage to tackle. And again, the 11th brings a clarity. You can look at it as Mercury and Venus having a summit and Mercury picking up something from Venus, a handoff maybe, that Venus is now going to look at, and then in a couple of days, Mercury will then go look at. So perhaps you can view this as picking the battles that you care enough about to fight, as meeting to figure out what you're going to do with that retrograde time, symbolically and actually, and possibly interpersonally. There's a moment of calming, of grounding, of okay, this far and no further when the sun meets Saturn on the 12th. This could dampen some of the running around and the fieriness. It could be a moment when we are all called upon to act maturely, to take responsibility for whatever we're doing, whatever our role in the tidal pool is. Remember that there's a terrific amount of energy, a terrific amount of influence late in the sign of Pisces, connecting us to everybody's stuff. And after this moment of grounding, which could be a bit depressing, could make you feel constrained, could make you feel relieved, after this moment of grounding, we then are in the vantage point to look at something differently, to entertain something that is a change that breaks us out of a holding pattern. The sun is in an opportunity aspect with change agent Uranus on the 14th, and this happens as we have a dun 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 lunar eclipse in Virgo. Lunar eclipses are supercharged full moons. They bring revelations. They show us things that have been going on that maybe we haven't noticed. They boot situations out of our lives. They boot people out of our lives. And they begin to close down chapters. This eclipse is the second one in a series that began last September. And it is going to clear a lot because Virgo is focused on boundaries. Virgo is evaluation energy. It brings discernment. There will be something that will draw lines, change affiliations, build new fences, separate each of us from things that we have perhaps been drowning in. This is an antidote for empathic behaviors on overdrive. It's a recurrence of an eclipse that happened in March of 2006. So you might think back about what was going on in your life at that point. And this eclipse is clearing the runway for the solar eclipse at the end of the month that is going to end the Aries Libra eclipses that we've been in since March of 2023. So we rearrange, we clear out, we have a moment of dispelling the fog, cutting through the nonsense, restructuring a lot of things, bringing a bit of sanity into equations, clearing the decks for the huge forward push that all of us will have at the Aries solar eclipse at the end of the month, which, by the way, takes place at a degree that is going to be active this week, which is Mercury stationing retrograde on the 15th. Venus stationed retrograde right near this. Mercury is now stationing retrograde on the eclipse degree, not the Virgo one, the Aries one at the end of the month. And we're going to begin going back over a lot of information and communications and thoughts, and maybe some things involving travel, our communication systems, clearing the way for what we're going to do at the end of the month. And the Mercury retrograde will enhance the atmosphere that we're already in with Venus retrograde of going back over all kinds of territory. Remember to stick the prefix RE in front of pretty much any verb. Know that as Mercury is stationing retrograde, there will be a sensation in the air that time is in suspense. And adding to that, adding to the whole Mercury retrograde confusion piece that is always there, as Mercury is stationing retrograde, the Sun meets Neptune. We are completely giving ourselves over to perhaps the highest creativity possible, awareness of how much we are all interconnected, being incredibly affected by things going on all over the planet, questioning our own sanity. The beneficial use of this will be to engage in some healthy escapism, to meditate, to be quiet, maybe watch a bunch of movies, listen to music, make your own art, do something creative. It's definitely not a weekend to be out and about doing a whole bunch of stuff. Probably you're going to want to hold back and just hang out in this really vague, weird, suspended in time energy. And that leads into the eclipse gauntlet. So this is a really, really volatile period. A mix of volatility and feeling suspended in time. Don't push yourself, don't rush. Although Those are seemingly pointless words with what the Aries retrogrades are going to be doing in us. Do your best. Give people slack if you can. If you feel like you want to punch somebody out, maybe sock a pillow instead. You probably will feel like you want to punch at least one person out, maybe a whole bunch of them. Maybe write letters and tell people off and burn the letters. That would be actually the safer way to process any of those emotions. Homing thought of the week. I choose to disengage. Song of the week, Brave by Sarah Bareilles. And image of the week is repairing fences. You'll learn more about this in my forecast for the Virgo full moon lunar eclipse, which is up at my site, empowermentunlimited.net, where you can sign up for my mailing list and book a session with me. I'm Kathy Biehl, also known as the Professional Aquarian, professional astrologer for more than 35 years. I have a lot of bonus content at patreon.com/Kathy Biehl, including quickie daily forecasts now, available starting at the $1 a month level. And I'm really grateful to the people who support my work there. I host the show Celestial Compass on Om Times Radio and TV on the first and third Monday of every month at 5 p.m. Eastern. I also host conversation on Facebook on the page Empowerment Unlimited and in the group the Astro-Insight Lounge. I post on Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads at K.A. Biehl and on YouTube at the Professional Aquarian channel. Talk to you next week.